Hello there, hockey fans, and a warm welcome to episode 4 of An Outlander's Guide to Hockey. Rather a chilly welcome when I come to think of it. Still officially winter here. I'm in Canada, so that's another 2.5 months. Unless you're on the west coast. The knives are out. Best beware the Ides of March, especially if you're a hockey coach in the Northern Division. Both Calgary and Montreal stuck the daggers in the backs of their coaches after less than brilliant starts. There might be another one to follow pretty soon. Let's not dwell on the negative. Let us move forward on our momentous journey. Episode 4 of An Outlander's Guide to Hockey. Let's find out what's at the heart of it all. The Stanley Cup. And what it means to finally get your hands on it. Actually, you can get your hands on it. You just need to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. I've done it. You can put your hands on it, you can get your photos taken and everything. Although that might be a replica. Enough of my yakking. What do you say? Let's boogie. Welcome back to another enthralling episode of An Outlander's Guide to Hockey. Episode 4 in an ongoing series of discovery. We're rocking through the season and rolling on to almost the halfway point on our epic journey. Things are slowly starting to become clearer as to who the main contenders are and who just might be already thinking about next year. More on that at the end of the show. This episode we'll visit two very different levels of hockey. The common, if I can use that word, beer league player. For them there is no Stanley Cup at the end of their season, but there might be beer and a few memorable shifts. And the world of the third and fourth line players on an NHL roster, an absolutely crucial component in the makeup of a Stanley Cup champion. We'll mention that particular trophy once or twice along the way, and remember, always keep your sticks on the ice. An old roommate of mine who played beer league hockey, it will come as no surprise to anyone, is a form of sports league where the primary goal of these leagues is to have organised hockey in its purest form, unencumbered by money, skill, ambition, fans or advancement. And having seen a few of these games, I would have to agree, there are very few with any ambition whatsoever. And those that do are ridiculed and derided in the dressing room, if there even is one. Well, this roommate stumbled home one evening after his beer league game with his mouth stitched from lower chin through upper lip. With the swelling increasing by the second, I asked if he had been inadvertently high-sticked or an Al McInnes slap shot had thundered into his face while he heroically tried to block the puck. I was astounded and a little disappointed to hear that he had merely attempted to tip in a soft pass in front of the net, hoping to score, when the frozen puck slowly trundled up his stick and eventually landed on his face, bursting his mouth to the tune of a dozen or so stitches. The next day he had picked up a cage for his helmet and was incredulously back on the ice, woefully attempting the deft tipping that had eluded him the week before. I'm sure he may have even experienced some unsympathetic ribbing from some of his teammates for even wearing the cage. But those guys all lost their teeth years ago, along with several brain cells. Hockey can be a tough sport, or rather it seems tough from my perspective. Sitting at home relatively safe on the couch with only the threat of impending depression from another heartbreaking loss to worry about. And even that I'll recover from eventually. Ranging from within a few hours for mid-season games to a number of weeks for painful playoff exits, and about a month for Game 7 losses when you're winning 4-1 with under 11 minutes remaining. Who am I kidding? That one there shall never be any peace. I believe it's a sport that you do get rewarded for bravery, especially at playoff time and particularly if you are one of the many lesser lights on the team, if I'm allowed to use that phrase. Every team has them, usually playing on the third or fourth lines. In general, they have less minutes than the stars on the first two lines, but they have difficult, dutiful tasks to perform when they do get on the ice. sometimes in physically softening up the opposition through relentless hitting or checking the other team's superstars into submission. These foot soldiers enthusiastically intimidate the opposing team by outworking them and saying unrepeatable things in several languages. More often than not, a few of these grunts, if I'm even allowed to use that phrase, rise above and beyond their station and terrorise the opposition with goals, along with their despicable personalities. Many a heroic playoff story has been written by these bottom feeders, if I'm even allowed to use that phrase, making crucial contributions to a deep playoff run. No team can expect to truly withstand the rigours of the Stanley Cup without a few of these pluggers, if I'm even allowed to use that phrase, sprinkled up and down their lineup. Team depth is crucial to a lengthy cup run, and the more of these annoying bastards you have on your team... I do apologise for that rather unfortunate incident. We have removed that foul-mouthed reporter from our staff. You needn't worry about hearing another word from that fuck. Any way you slice it, success is judged based on how well you do in the playoffs. Unlike many other sports where the winning of the league title is paramount, hockey is one of those sports where the cup is everything. So much so that many of the perennial favourite teams use the regular season as a sort of tune-up for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Their season will not be judged by their performance throughout the year. The real games start when it really matters. And even if the fortunate survivors of the two conference finals have bested three other teams in the best of 7 games series and are rewarded with the conference winner's trophy, most refuse to even touch that vessel, either because of some unproven superstition or to suggest that the real work hasn't been completed until they get to lift all 34.5 pounds of the Stanley Cup high above their head. A cup that has every single player's name that was an active member of that year's winning team featured, including the coaches, owners and support staff. They all have their names inscribed on its gleaming silver surface, can only be described as sport's most storied championship. Even if the original bowl has been replaced and they removed the top band with 13 previous winners bearing 340 names from the cup every 13 years, its magnitude is undiminished. Only 12 teams appeared on the band removed in 2018 as the engraving of the 1964 Montreal Canadiens player names took up twice the normal space. Further evidence that the Habs were cheating again by having too many men on the ice. The Stanley Cup is also a world traveller. Each player has possession for a day to celebrate with the cup in whatever manner they choose. From Red Square in Moscow to castles in Slovenia, it's flown on helicopters and been tubing behind a speedboat. Players have had their children baptised from the hallowed chalice, and if the space shuttle Atlantis hadn't been decommissioned, it might have made it out to space too. Repaired, de-dented and soldered back together umpteen times, left at the side of a frozen snowbank in Quebec and punted into the Rideau Canal in Ottawa when the cup was just a youngster. The Stanley Cup stature takes on mythic proportions for hockey fans everywhere. A cup that gets delivered to the arena for presentation to the winning team in a glorified padded sarcophagus is revered throughout hockey lore. Even the losing team's fans, if that cup was won on enemy ice, will salute the victors as they know they are witnessing the true champions. There are rarely lucky winners of the Stanley Cup. Aside from a few required modifications to its girth for ergonomic reasons every 13 years, I mean the cup would weigh around 85 pounds by now if they didn't. That's the same weight as a Vox AC30 amplifier. Try lifting that high above your head. The Stanley Cup is incomparable and a magnificent jewel to crown the champions of hockey. Too melodramatic? Got a bit carried away there, eh? Do you want me to do it again? We're going to live with it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Quite the find, Paul Correa, Joe Sakic. Two of my favourite players. Sakic, fantastic for Team Canada. Correa was brilliant. Came close to a Stanley Cup. That guy is going to prattle on for another half an hour, believe me. I'll leave him to it. I'm sure you'll agree with me that that Stanley Cup segment deserves an Oscar. Or a nomination for narration at least. I think it's called an Audie. An Audie Award because that was positively Shakespearean. Sir John Gielgud would have been proud. The eyes for around a minute. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Consider liking with an encouraging thumbs up. And please do subscribe. It'll make your heart feel a few sizes bigger. See you all again the next time when we meet on No Idle Talk.